Morning fellas, Ben back again. Well, this has been a long pending one. A lot of you have requested me to make a video on my thoughts on the Himalayan 452. I test rode the vehicle and these are my thoughts. Now, there's going to be a twist. I want you to know that I've booked one. I've already booked one. And I'm going to be sharing all that I dislike about the bike. What I like about the bike has everything to do with what everybody likes about the bike. There's nothing apart from that I love about the bike which nobody has spoken about. Everybody has spoken great things about the suspension, the fit and finish, the design, though it is subjective, and the power. Yeah, the power is definitely up there. So everybody has spoken about all that they like, and yes, I'm sold on that too. Hence I got one. I'll be getting it in a week or two's time. Like you saw in the video, I've booked a Kaza Brown along with Arun, and both of us have booked the same color. Hi fellas, Ben back again with this guy, Arun, in the Royal Enfield showroom, booking the Himalayans together. We've done this umpteen number of times. There's no end to doing this. We keep getting the same bike, and then he switches bikes, and then he comes back to the same bike again that I own. But this has been an ongoing affair. Both of us booked the Kaza Brown. But that being said, what I'm going to talk about on this video is all that I dislike about the bike, all that is seriously a problem with the motorcycle and nobody has addressed it, nobody has spoken about it. I've just made a note of this so that it helps keeping things clear and crisp. Number one is the rider triangle. For anybody who's 5'8" and above, the rider triangle is a bit of a question mark. It isn't as good as it is on this. On this, it's a fantastic rider triangle. Sitting to standing, the transition is seamless on this. It's like one of the best bikes that allows for that seamless transition from sitting to standing. And sitting comfortable, standing unbelievably comfortable. It's a very, very well engineered motorcycle in terms of ergonomics and design. So very well thought of, very well put together. But the rider triangle is a bit of a hit or a miss on the new 450. So some body types, some proportions will get very well connected with it, and there will be some body proportions and some sizes that may not find it to their liking. The foot pegs are sadly, from what I felt, I was on the bike for almost half an hour testing riding, standing up and riding, and foot peg placements. And the foot pegs are fantastic. They're detached from the main chassis. They're rubber mounted, so they dampen all the vibration. It's extremely smooth. There's zero vibrations on the feet. Loved that aspect of it. There's no fatigue on the leg. The leg is just ultra smooth. But the moment you stand up, your feet seems like they are detached from the motorcycle. Your feet being able to grip from the bottom, from the ankle and the lower shin. There's no chance you can do that unless you have a very nice motocross boot, a big boot, a thick boot. A thick boot is going to be able to latch on to the frame. But there's no way, because your feet are placed too far away from the chassis, and they are rubber mounted. They are detached from the frame. They don't feel connected is what I'm saying. So they're not connected to the bike. So when you stand up, you feel like your feet are on a different platform and the motorcycle is independent of your feet. It's a very strange feeling for me to explain, but you guys got to try this. Specifically on off-road terrain to understand what I'm saying. So this is fantastic for long distance touring, but this is definitely not a great thing for trail riding. For trail riding, you need to be as connected to the frame as possible. Yes, the bike is top heavy. This thing is the opposite. This isn't top heavy, so it's easy to manage. It's easy to lift from the main stand, put it back on the main stand or the center stand, or sorry, the side stand. Whereas the new motorcycle is top heavy. So if you're short, you'll have to do some serious planning. If you're anywhere between 5'4" and 5'6" and 5'7", this lifting the bike from the stand and putting it back, letting it lean, there'll be a bit of a getting used to. It's just a getting used to thing, but you'll have to be conscious of it every single time. You can't take the bike for granted because it's heavy. And the thing with top heavy motorcycles is if you get the bike to make a sharp turn and you're in the wrong gear and you stall the bike, oh man, it's going to fall. It's going to fall like that. No questions, it's definitely going to fall. You will have to be very careful. You'll have to plan your U-turns. You will have to plan your tight. So this is not a tight technical trail riding motorcycle, not at all. Because if it's that top heavy, it's definitely going to feel like the big bikes. The big bikes which are top heavy, this feels exactly like that. This quick turns, U-turns, the sharp turns, you can't expect the bike to just come, fall, turn on its own without really feeling like it's going to tip over. So that's a very strange thing. You'll have to be very careful of it. It is very, very different from this motorcycle. This motorcycle is a piece of cake to turn. Doesn't feel top heavy. And yet I've seen many people drop this when they do tight turns. So the new Himalayan is going to be even more difficult to make tight turns. Oh, the engine. The engine is explosive, yet linear and amazing. It has the power of a KTM 390. Yet it delivers that power in a way where anyone and everyone can control that power. Nobody is going to feel intimidated. The weight of the machine balances the power out so well that nobody is going to be intimidated by the power. What it lacks though is something nobody spoke about. This is the first time I think I'm speaking about it, but I know everybody would have felt it. Nobody spoke about it. Everybody just, I don't know how people don't realize these things. The bike is dead. The bike has nothing under 3000 RPMs. So from 0 to 15 or speeds like that, the bike has nothing to pull. There's no torque there. Whereas this is like a king in that segment. 0 to 3000 RPMs, this is like a tractor, a solid tractor. Nothing in the throttle, this will take you uphill. The new bike needs momentum between 0 to 3000 RPM for it to get going. It doesn't have torque to pull it on its own. And that is the RPM range in tight technical trail riding. In tight technical trail riding where you don't really have a patch to start propelling yourself, and you have to keep generating torque in short distances, within 3000 RPMs you have the next hurdle, the next block, the next piece of rock, the next rut. So there's no way you're going above 3000 RPMs, and your bike doesn't have anything within 3000 RPMs. You're definitely going to be revving the bike a lot, clutching, declutching, revving. All that's going to happen for you to get crossing, to get moving without hurdles. So when you talk about power delivery, when you talk about torque that kicks in very early on, it doesn't kick in as early as this. It kicks in post 3000 RPMs. Post 3000 RPMs, it's fantastic. It's a beast. It can do high speed trail riding like it was nothing. If you give it enough momentum, it can do anything. It can climb up anything when there's momentum. But can it generate momentum on its own at those crawling speeds, tractor speeds, like 5 to 15 to 20 kilometers an hour? Within that range, can it generate enough momentum to climb, to go into ruts and come out, to get stuck and then still come out? Keep chugging. No, this beats the new Himalayan any given day. This is a proper chugger, a proper tractor. Anybody can tractor around with this. The new bike feels just like any other bike, any other new motorcycle that I have never wanted. It feels like that because it has no chuggability, doesn't have the tractoring factor that this thing has. This thing, eyes closed, is a clear winner in that segment. So for tight technical trail riding, it's a strict no. The new Himalayan will not work. It may work in the hands of experts. It's like Paul Taris riding the Yamaha T7. and then everybody thinking that once they've gotten the T7, they'll be able to ride like Pol Taurus. No, you will not be able to. Sorry to say, that's not how it works. So just because you have some experts going about thrashing the motorcycle, the new Himalayan, watching those videos and assuming that you'll be able to do it just the exact same way, it's impossible. You'll not be able to do it. Because that's not how it works. High RPM and extraordinary skills. That's not the case with most people. Most people it's low RPMs, poor skills, even pathetic practice. So it's definitely not going to work. It is not a trail motorcycle. That's what I'm trying to say. A tight technical trail motorcycle. Fast-paced trails, beautiful. It'll whoop this bike's ass any given day. Not this particular bike though, because this particular bike, there's something interesting. I'll talk to you about it. This is something else. So, yeah, we'll get to that later. That's another problem with the motorcycle. Under 3000 RPMs, nothing. Wind buffeting, the wind blast was too much to take. The windshield on this is far, far, far better. The windshield on the new motorcycle has serious problems. We'll have to figure out. We'll have to get a much bigger screen to take care of wind buffeting. Now comes the most interesting part. Again, something that nobody spoke about. I find these things very interesting is because I don't know if these people are all bought by Royal Enfield or it's just a bunch of amateurs who have no idea how to go about gauging a motorcycle. The bike is extremely vibey after 95 kilometers per hour. Now this is not just one motorcycle and this is not just my observation. I'll tell you why. I'm going to back this with stats. I live 2 blocks away, literally 2 blocks away, right? 50 meters away from the road, from the main road, where people have been testing these Himalayans for the last 1.5, 2 years. And I see them almost every day, almost every day. 5 days out of 7 days, I get to see these bikes on the road, the new Himalayans. And many a times I've tried riding along with them. I've kept up with them. And I end up wondering, why is it that I never knew that the bike was capable of 165 kilometers per hour. Why is because all of them seem to be cruising between an indicated 90 and 100, which is a piece of cake on this also. So every single time I would ride along with them or I would be tailing them, I look at my speedometer and it's the same speeds. And they would not go faster than that. They would have their reasons. Of course, they would have plenty of reasons to not go faster than that. But they all seem to be settling down at that pace. Yes, they overtake way more faster than this, but they all come and rest at that pace. That's how most single-cylinder machines are. Most single-cylinder high-performance machines also like to settle down between a 90 and 105, 110 max. Though they are capable of 160, 170, they all settle down at that speed. And that's the exact thing with the new Himalayan too. That's the exact same thing with the new Himalayan. The settling down speeds would be somewhere around 95 kmph. A bike that's capable of doing 165 kilometers an hour, if you want to know the butter smooth operating range, that would be 90, 95, 100 and 105 at best. And that's exactly what this does too. So for all the people who are thinking that I'll get the new Himalayan, I'll cruise at 140 kilometers an hour. No, it's an extremely vibey motor. Way more vibey than a KTM 390. A KTM 390 Adventure is so much more smooth at those speeds, at 120 and above. The new Himalayan though was just extremely vibey to a point where my hand became numb. This is a very strong hand. I've been with motorcycles for ages and I have very good grip strength, and my hand became numb by the time I did about 50 minutes of highway riding. 50 minutes of continuous highway riding at triple digit speeds, and I felt like, whoops, this is not the triple digit motorcycle that I thought it would be. It was smooth and comfortable between 90 and 100 at best. Anything more, I was asking a little from my hands too. Extremely vibey motor, constant buzz. Arun pointed out something. I'm not familiar with ride-by-wire, so we tried twisting the throttle, and after about 40-50% of the throttle movement, it started becoming a little grippy. There was something wrong with, or that's the nature of ride-by-wire. The grip started becoming tighter and tighter and tighter. After 50% of the throttle travel, the grip started becoming tighter. So if you guys know what that is, or I'm sorry that I did not do research and I just am blurting it out, speaking about it without knowing, I would love for you guys to help me out. What is going on? Why does it have that tightness to it, the later half of the throttle? So the bike was extremely vibey. That's the point. It's a very vibey motorcycle. It isn't as smooth as the KTM 390 Adventure. So much more smooth, in fact. Though both bikes can do the same speeds, the KTM 390 Adventure any day much better on the highway. In fact, the Triumph Scrambler much better on the highway. Another point nobody spoke about. This isn't a traffic bike. This isn't nimble. Too wide a wheelbase. Yeah, the bike is tight. The suspension is fantastic. The suspension is out of this world. But it isn't a flickable bike because of the long wheelbase, because of top heavy nature, and maybe something to do with the suspension too. It isn't flickable. This motorcycle is so much more flickable. I was surprised. The new bike, you need to plan a line in traffic. You need to constantly manage your gears because there isn't enough power at that crawling speeds. If it's traffic that you're asking for, you need to plan, pick a line. Whereas this bike, so much more flickable, so much more easy to flick. Low bottom end weight, quick change of direction, very easy, no problems. So much more capable in technical trail riding, and technical trail riding and traffic congestion is almost the same. So the new bike isn't as flickable as you guys think. Just because you feel that the suspension is nice and tight, it is not going to be an everyday traffic commuter motorcycle. Yeah. Lastly, valve train noise. Yes, I remember I spoke about it in the previous video as an engine that is amazing to listen to. But surprisingly, after about 50 minutes of nice thrashing, there was enough valve train noise. It was loud, it was chattery. It wasn't as loud as you find it on the 411s, but it had enough noise to know that this is a Royal Enfield. The Royal Enfield part of it stood out. It was loud and clear that we are not dealing with another manufacturer, but we are dealing with the Royal Enfield. I don't mind that. I like a YB, cluttery, kind of an engine with a bit of a buzz. I like all that. I have a car which is the opposite of that, butter smooth. So I like that transition. From my motorcycle to my car, I feel they're two different experiences. But for people who like soft Hondas, who like absolutely no noise from the engines, no matter how long you ride them, this will not be something that you'll be able to connect with. So yep, these are all the points that I felt very strongly I should share with you. And I think I owe it to all of you people that you get to know the truth of the matter. Nobody seems to be interested in sharing all the cons. Everybody is just after praising and praising and praising the new bike as if it has absolute. And the funny thing is, all the videos that I watch, people asking people something that you can point out, nobody seems to be pointing out anything that's wrong with a motorcycle. Oh, one more thing before. So by the time I ended with the test ride, it was night, and the headlights suck. The headlights are pathetic. Yes, many have spoken about it. That's one thing that everybody has spoken about it. So the headlights just don't have enough throw in them. You'll have to get an aftermarket headlight assembly, because you can't go in with a Cyclops LED and make things better. You'll have to get the whole headlight assembly, the whole of it. Yeah, that's about it. Everything else about the bike is amazing. But by the time I ended with the test ride and I came back home, I mean, this was back to back. So I wrote this back home and I was like, my God, what have I built? Uh, I mean, I booked the bike, I booked the new bike, and I'm coming back home with this, and I'm like, what the hell? What a motorcycle, what a package. Like, I found more cons in the new motorcycle compared to this. This is a fully sorted wrecking machine. I've built a monster. I'm sad I can't have you guys test this and that back to back and feel the difference. But if you can trust me and if you've seen all that I've done to this bike, then you know that this is this is one of those best all-rounders. Like there's absolutely nothing to complain about on this motorcycle except for the new tech cam or valve overlap noise. I don't mind that. I got myself some earplugs. So now for the first time in my life, I wear earplugs when I'm on the highways. And sorted, problem sorted. But man, unbelievably capable machine. An ass whooper. The one and only area where the new Himalayan beats Ben is in sheer straight line speeds. Nothing else. Nothing else the new bike compares to Ben. Ben is better. 5% margin, 50% margin. Ben is better. Interesting, right? And I'm being 100% honest here. So if you guys think that I'm just bluffing because I love this motorcycle, so be it. You're entitled to your opinions. But I couldn't be more honest. Straight line speeds, straight power output, that will kill this bike. It's about 20-25% faster than this, or 30% faster. A 0 to 100, I'm guessing, would be 6 seconds. This takes 9 seconds, so you can see that difference. That difference is too much of a difference, night and day. But everything else, any kind of off-road riding, this will be much, much better. Yeah, that will be better than this on sand. Wider tire, good suspension, very good suspension, so much more power. So on sand, if you were to constantly tractor, that'll be better. But on sand, coming to a stop, starting from the dead stop, this better because it has much better bottom end. You don't have to spin the wheel spin. Mountains, climbing, any day better, any day better. Rut riding, any day better. Climbs, ups and downs, technical trail riding, a lot of rocks and maneuvering through inclines and declines, much better. Yep, so I could just go on and on and on. Highly flickable motorcycle, extremely flickable. And what an experience when you ride this. If you take away the power quotient from the new bike, it isn't an original feeling. You ride Ben, you ride the Himalayan 411, it is an authentic feeling. It's a feeling that cannot be compared to riding any other motorcycle. Interesting. I've built a monster out of this. Very, very happy. Very happy. The suspension, the aluminium rims, and the cam, and all the years of tuning, the fueling, it's completely changed the motorcycle. Yeah, so that was it. I'm getting the new bike very soon, and you will have a lot of comparo videos coming up. A lot of the 411 versus the 450. If you found this video helpful, useful in any way, keep your 411, guys. Keep your 411s. Modify them. Trust my words now. Now I can tell you for a fact that you can put in money into this, and this will be an ass whooper. Trust me. Cruises comfortably along with the Himalayan 450. No problems at all. Both bikes cruise at the same speed, though it can do another 40 kmph faster. This will cruise along with it comfortably. Because the comfort part, the sweet spot, and this, same. Absolutely same. No difference. So yeah, if it helped, it helped. I shall see you guys on another one. Until then, this is Ben signing on for now. Ciao.